Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Power of the Tribe and Rising Star Book Club. Maureen here, and I have another publisher in the house. So I love having publishers in the house because we get to get behind the scenes of what this looks like, as well as we talk to our authors. So I have Cathy Davis here from Davis Creative, and we're going to talk about her latest book came out in September, Engaging Experts. But then we're going to talk about a book that's coming out about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Oh my God, what did I do with her word? Am I right there, Cathy?
You're right, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Okay.
She's coming out later this year.
Show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Good. We're glad to have you too. So going on, so you're a compiler. You do anthologies. You bring women to having their, and men as well, bringing to their voice when they're still not ready to have a full book.
Right. So we use the power of publishing not only as when someone wants to write their full book, but if someone's a little timid about stepping into that big world of publishing, 3 or 4 times a year, we offer an anthology, which is a collection of essays. So the one that just published at the end of January 2021, so just about 3 weeks ago, was Engaging Experts. We had 12 authors in this one. And it was your guide, let me get this right, your guide to the people, connections you need to go from ordinary to extraordinary. We had a broad range of people, from real estate professionals to financial professionals. We had MBAs, PhDs, MSWs, all those alphabets after the name. We had a broad range of experience and ages and education. It was a fun group.
Cool. And did you find that obviously it was, during COVID, right, as the pieces came through and the whole collection got to move forward, people are really looking to get their voice heard being under COVID more than usual?
What I've noticed exactly over the last almost a year now, wow. People are using the power of publishing to look good, get noticed, and most importantly, what I've noticed is make a difference in other people's lives, create that ripple factor, which I love. So whether they choose to do it with one chapter in one of our anthologies, or if they decide to write their own book, we've had a lot of people come forward and step into that arena and say, okay, I'm ready. In a given year, typically we start getting really busy around July. And we've been doing this, I've been doing this since January 2004, and specifically focusing on publishing since 2008. So we've done quite a few books with over 500 authors. And what I've noticed around April of last year, mid-April, rather than waiting to July, we got really busy in April. And people were saying, I'm stuck at home. I'm going to finish this book that I've been thinking about for the last 20 years. And they stepped up. And those that just wanted to test the waters have stepped into the anthology model.
So, but isn't that you give them that vehicle at a time when they leaned forward as opposed to retreating? You gave them the vehicle for their voice to come forward.
Exactly. Most of the books that we publish and help people publish are nonfiction. They're a marketing tool for their business to help them grow and build their brand. But at the same time, ironically, right behind that, we've had an increase in requests for children's books, a lot of illustrated children's books, kind of, teaching a lesson, a little moral to the story. And then we've also had family memoirs where, a couple people have been working on this for decades and collecting all of this information to get out to their family and put it on the record as to how did their family make it to the United States? What history is there in Germany that they can share about, kind of like if you watched PBS, was it Henry Louis Gates, where he does the roots, and we've had a lot of fun in looking at these old photos that people have where, they've immigrated here a couple generations ago and they want to share that story.
Well, there is a piece to that too, that when you're moving through transformation, a looking back, and then a moving forward with it would enable you then to for people to accept things that they at one point emotionally may not have accepted with more kinder eyes and forgiveness.
Exactly. And we've noticed, I mean, we specifically even had one gentleman who's retired from corporate. He a PhD in music, and he now uses music as a therapy tool, kind of giving back. But he wanted to write a book about how grandparents can use music to get closer to their grandchildren. And he specifically said, I got to do this before I get this COVID thing and die. And, we'd say, oh, you're not going to die. It's okay. We'll help you through it. And of course, he's still, very much alive and living. But it created that impetus for people to say, I got to do this now.
The urgency, the legacy, all of those power words, you move people forward. That's really amazing.
Yeah, so we've had several fun projects come through here. Last fall, you may have heard there were several. We did an anthology where we had 30 authors involved. Actually, let me say that again. We had 40 authors involved. And they were not only from the US, they were from all around the planet. It's amazing how quarantine and a pandemic can emphasize how truly global we truly are. It's not a matter of our community is no longer just our family or our neighborhood, that through the power of digital connections, we now have friends in every country. And it's amazing. It gives me goosebumps just talking about it.
It did both. It made the immediate unit so much more powerful and present, but then it opened up to that, that neighbor in France, a neighbor in Australia, that neighbor in Hong Kong, and within their unit. So there's this brotherly, just some really amazing connection going on.
I know we have a lot of therapists and life coaches and educators that we support in our client base. And when interviewing one of the women for the book we did last fall, where we had so many authors, she was out of France. And I, of course, said, tell me what you do. And thankfully she spoke English, but come to find out she's a confidence coach in France. And I thought, I thought maybe that was an American phenomenon, but where there's so many life coaches and so many people helping other people right now. And to learn that people in France have the same kind of aspirations. People in France need confidence, just like a lot of us here in the US. It made the globe a lot smaller than what we perhaps had come to believe. That's
really neat, right?
Oh yeah. The connections.
The connect, everything is connection. So, okay, so wait a second, like 30, 40 authors. I mean, I thought the tipping point max was like at 30. How did you squeeze in 40 authors in that? Wow.
So what we did, so typically when we do an anthology, your chapter word limit is around 1,500 to 2,000.
Okay.
And so it was a joint collaboration with one of our mutual friends, Rebecca, and we decided, let's do a little test here. So we said, let's take that word count down to 1,000, and let's see how many people want to participate and come play in this sandbox.
Oh.
And we had over 40 people that wanted to come play at 1,000 words a chapter. And of course, they get to put their bio and contact information at the back of each chapter, so that as someone, I love this idea of the ripple effect, because when I was in college a couple decades ago, the marketing classes were teaching us all that we all know 250 people. Well, fast forward, 3, 4, 5 decades, and you realize I know at least 2,500 people, and some of us may know 25,000, depending on our mailing list. And it's amazing that in these anthologies, as you get to know each of the other authors in the anthology, and we always create events so that they do get to know each other digitally online, your universe, your reach has expanded exponentially with each author. And so it's amazing. And the authors that reap the most success from involvement in the anthology model are those that are actively out there reaching out to the other authors and say, oh, let's have coffee, let's do Zoom and chat. And those are the people that I see later are doing a summit with this whole group of new authors over here. So it's amazing, the ripple factor.
Well, so I've had the privilege of being in my first anthology, The Bloom and Shine, where it was just I say quotes.
Mm-hmm.
It was inspirational quotes, but the energy of the launch that day, because it wasn't just me, it was
right.
It's so much fun because it's an exponential energy and it's really a blast.
I tell people, mark the whole day off, because you're going to be glued to sharing social media, posting social media, and that's what drives up your ranking on Amazon. So that's what we're encouraging people to do. And I mean, I've had authors literally in tears of excitement and happy tears because of the joy that they have felt in this community that we create through one of these anthologies. You're right. It's a goosebump moment the whole day.
It's just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And again, so my word for this year is connection, and it's really in the be do have, right? And that be with no tangible results attached, just for the sake of being, like those authors coming together. It's that synergy and energy that magic happens, unexpected magic.
It is. One of the authors asked me one time if I had a magic wand. Years ago, I have a magic wand. My daughter, who's in her 40s now, of course, took dancing all through school. And I have an old magic wand from one of her old costumes that, I keep adding little baubles to. And so I held it up during a Zoom call one day and go, yeah, you asked. I do. I have a magic wand. But it has that feeling because there's so much excitement. It's a fun project to be involved with.
Okay, so now, again, going from a really amazing fun project to really a book about such a significant figure. Tell us about the next book that's coming out.
So our next anthology that's coming out is Living My Truth. And it's truth is spelled with a little t and a big R, in honor of the legacy of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And for those of us in America who have lived in the last, 4 or 5 centuries, you are very familiar with who Ruth Bader Ginsburg is, and her ability as a tiny little petite firecracker to have changed our society over the last 4 or 5 decades, although she died at age 87. I've learned so much about her and just doing a little bit of research that I have, that I just decided it was time to do a tribute to her. So we are soliciting for chapters in our Living My Truth, based upon how has Ruth Bader Ginsburg influenced your life and changed your life. I know I took a look back at my life thinking, okay, what has affected me? And it took me all the way back to 5th grade. The first instance where I remembered having a problem. I did not get the math DNA. And so I was asking a male teacher, my math teacher, how to do a problem. And after a while, I remember him sighing really big and patting me on the back and telling me something to the effect, don't worry, honey, just make sure you marry somebody that knows math and can do it for you. And the impact on a 5th grade, what would we have been, around 10 or 12 at that age, that had on a female student. I clear through college, I struggled with math. Now, I think it was just nobody sat down long enough to explain it to me. But little incidences like that, all the way from the first time that I was told I couldn't apply for a job because I was not male. That happened in my late teens for a summer job. And that did exist. And through the efforts of gender equality and all the legacy that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which is a mouthful, left on our society, we can now do so much of what you and I take for granted.
I love I don't know if you know the story about her. So about it was their son, right? And that he would be in school, and then they would call her and say, oh, because he was bright and not precocious, but he was bright and really
Hmm.
assertive and very creative and just all those amazing things. They would call her, the school would call her and say, your son's in the principal's office again, you need to come down. And as a mom, right, we with
Hmm.
these lines that we cross and balance and trying to wear the hats, and they kept doing it. And so she would leave, right? She was I don't think she was in law practice. I think that she was actually in some kind of government piece, right? In a
Right.
judgeship. She was a judge then. That's I'm going to say that.
Hmm.
And so after the third or fourth time, she said to the principal, my husband's name is on there too. You can call him
Awesome.
as well. And
Yes.
that was the last time she did that. Not that she was not being an
Available.
amazing mom
Right.
and all, but you could call him too, because guess what? This is not, the lesser, my career's lesser, or
Right.
it all
Right.
gets put on women. It was an amazing story and it was an interview. And
Hmm.
that was that. I just, not only did I always think she's amazing, but that was even more that she's just fabulous.
Well, and such a tiny, petite woman to have such a major impact on the way things are handled here in the United States. It's amazing as you start delving into it. And the book is not just for attorneys or people that are in a similar field. Actually, the very first person that we had said, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, I want to be a part of this. She's a restaurant owner.
Ugh.
And she got her chapter in before we could even get any kind of marketing or publicity out. She just heard about it word of mouth and said, I want to do this. And
What was it that you wanted to tell?
I should have
Are
read the
you allowed to,
chapter.
you're not allowed to
I'm
do
not
that
there
yet?
yet. I'm
Okay.
not there yet.
All right.
But the fact that it motivated her to be able to feel she could open a restaurant, and her restaurant is still open and has reopened back according
Thank
to
goodness.
quarantine
Yeah.
guidelines, and they're still plugging along. So she's got a big following herself.
Oh, that's just all right, but I'll find out eventually. So
Yeah.
how far along is it? When is the release date? What are we looking
We're
at?
we're currently taking reservations, and the release date will either be late April or sometime in May.
Okay.
We're scheduling that now. And the easiest way to find us, you go to daviscreative.com.
Mhm.
There is a tab called Anthology, and you click that little tab and it shows up Living My Truth, and it
Did-
tells you all about it. We do offer early bird pricing. So the sooner you get your reservation in, the cheaper it is for you. The closer you wait to deadline, the more expensive it gets, because more fire drills we have to do to kind of get everything ready. But everybody is assigned a writing coach. It's included in the project. So you don't have to know how to write. We have someone that's going to teach you and help you do your chapter for you.
So is this I mean, again, since what you say about 2008, you've been publishing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
is this one coming out really special, this project?
This is our thank you for asking. This is our 15th anthology.
Okay.
And it does remind me that I should create a celebration around that.
Yeah.
We have worked, like I mentioned, with over 500 authors. And the fun part is that a lot of the authors that have been in our anthology will come back once or twice a year to be in other anthologies. Whenever they see that their business needs a boost,
Mhm.
or they want to get a little more buzz out in social media, this is a fantastic way to do that at a low price point. Yeah.
And so of course I get that gold seal, right? Bestseller, usually international bestseller out the gate.
Exactly.
Legitimacy in that. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. So that this will be coming out, right? I'd love to do like a panel, bring you and some of the authors and just really lean into as we celebrate one of our greatest women heroes.
Oh, definitely. We would love to do that.
Okay.
We would love to do that. And we have a publicist assigned to this one because we feel it's a very high profile type of subject. So we'll make sure we include all that in our publicity also.
We'll have some fun.
We'll pick a date. We'll have an online party.
Okay, good. No, this is going to be that. This is something really, again, as we're coming out of COVID, this is something special.
It is. It's a way to cheer each other on. It's a way to, and it's not limited just to women who have been affected. You know, although I keep trying to get my husband to write a chapter, you know, he's not going to go there, but he's a big cheerleader and knows how much. Quite often he has noticed how he would get privileges that I might not have been extended. So it's great to have those male participants in the book also.
Okay, and then okay, just out of curiosity, how many chapters are we in? How many do you have?
This one, our target is 25.
Mm-hmm.
And we just started promoting it a couple weeks ago, and we currently have 6 authors already signed up.
I have a feeling it's going to go higher. Just put it out
So
there.
people are starting to talk about it, and word's getting out.
Yeah,
The other fun thing is that we have a group of women who are perhaps senior mentors to younger women, and there is a group of them that have decided that they're going to underwrite some of the chapters for some of the younger women professionals that perhaps might be trying to get a foothold in their particular line of business. So that was a fun.
So is it twofer that bringing someone in as they go, as the young?
There is a bring a friend discount. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So bring a friend and everybody gets to celebrate.
All right. No, this is I'm so excited to be. Yeah, this is going to be something really, really. Always great, but this is going to be something special.
Yeah. So we definitely want to make sure we save your chapter for you too. I can tell you're already thinking about what you would write.
I hear you. Okay. Yeah. And I usually don't say no, but I didn't say yes. So Cathy Davis,
Mm-hmm.
Davis Creative.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm gonna, because it's a mouthful, but it's Ruth Bader Ginsburg's anthology.
Living my truth.
My truth. Can't wait. Coming out late spring.
April.
Mm-hmm. And be part of the history. You should use that.
I will. Thank you. Only the best ideas are stolen.
I'll be fine with that. All right, my friend. Fabulous, great work. And we'll be coming back. I'd love to have the group on and do something really amazing.
That sounds like an awesome opportunity.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
I'll be